Does that make sense?
Which Star Wars game was it again?
This is Rogue Squadron 2.
All right, welcome back to SDAT 2021. We have Dayman here with Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2. Dayman, feel free to take it away, man.
All right, this is Rogue Squadron. We're gonna have plenty of time to talk as we kind of get further into the game. So let's just dive right on in, do some fun little shooting action, and we'll go time on 3, 2, 1, and go. So this one drops us right off in A New Hope, and is right at the end of the movie. Gotta go blow up the Death Star. This is a good mix of levels that are derived directly from the films and stuff that just kind of fills in the gaps of the narrative. So I'm just kind of precisely firing some proton torpedoes because they're a lot stronger than the lasers. If I do it right, hey, they all worked. Okay, that's good. Takes 2 and some change, or 3, to blow up the towers. Gotta kill all the towers. However, if I use up all of my torpedoes, I fail the mission. Because they're like, oh, you're not gonna have any way to kill the Death Star. You need to fire a torpedo down the exhaust port, so... yeah. Okay. Now we gotta shoot some ties. So, fortunately, with this game, if you shoot the leader of each formation last, they never scramble. And the leader is always the center lowest in every formation. And so I know where the leader is in every formation. And so I can always just shoot that one last and not worry about it. You always know where to go. Always know where to shoot. I kind of got lost there for a second, but it's okay. Him. Good. One last group. So, don't tell anybody, but I actually did that slightly out of order, which is why that took a little bit longer than usual, but it's okay.
One more to go.
Alright, so now the trench run. Normally, what we would do is close your wings, fly straight down it, and the ties will come behind you, and then you're supposed to brake, and they fly in front of you, and you shoot them. Then another wave of ties comes in, they fly, and then you repeat that process forever. However, I'm going to show off a cool little strat that I love to do for marathons. It loses a couple seconds to just closing your wings and going for it, which is the speed strat. But it's really cool, and it works every time, which is what we like in marathons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crash in a very specific spot, and when I do that, we're going to have some ties that fly in front of me, but never get blown up, and so the next group never spawns. Right here.
How specific is the crash spot?
You've got, like, I don't know, a few ships' length of tolerance. The cool thing is that if you just close your wings and go, you'll always crash at a good spot. If you, like, I landed on that little crossbar thing. If you land just in front of it or just behind it, that's fine, but it works out that you don't really have to aim because it's the first obstacle in that, like, zone that you land on. If you crash too soon, they'll still spawn behind you. If you crash too late, you respawn further back, and it might still work, but you're not really saving much time at that point because you have to play a bunch of the level again. And then I used to work my way to the side of the trench here to avoid getting shot by Vader, and then I found out, because I was being lazy and just drinking coffee during a run, that you don't have to, and he can't hit you enough to kill. He won't hit you enough to kill you before you reach the end. Like, as you can tell, he's yet to hit me. And even if he does hit me, it's not enough for that to be a problem. Audio cue here. And one of those will hit. And then the audio cue is so that we can fire those at the earliest possible point, save the most time. And then, yeah, perfect. It's about as good of a trench as you could really expect. Not a good second phase, but we're still chilling. It's fine. Alright, so next is one of my favorite levels, just because it is kind of the most pure in that all you do is shoot TIE fighters. And as such, the level of optimization you can have is kind of nutty. I'm just going to listen for another audio cue here.
Fighters approaching from all directions. We're surrounded. I copy, Wedge.
Oh.
We've got to
Open your wings before that, and this puts us on the best place to get to all these ties. And I know the distance that my lasers can fire, so I can open up my wings at the exact best point to shoot them as soon as they come into range, so we don't waste any time. That one. And then this last group. Oh, and okay. So that's a good point to talk about the auto-aim system. The auto-aim system, by default, pulls your lasers to the leader if it's between anything in particular. And as such, it is actively harming you almost 100% of the time. The auto-aim makes it so that you are never shooting at the thing you actually want to shoot at. And you can't turn it off either, so that's fun. Interesting. Okay. There's a little bit of screwiness with the way that those ties kind of broke apart, which had to do with the way I shot the last group in the first cycle. It's kind of weird, but regardless, still moving pretty well. Another audio cue.
Awaiting your orders, Luke.
I'm also just hearing from CJ here, $4,700. If we can hit that by the end of this run, Dayman does all the bonus levels.
Oh yeah,
and Crunchy also gets to keep his job.
He gets to keep his job? I mean, I think that's worth donating for, right?
It is worth donating for. And speaking of donations, I don't know.
Okay.
We might see.
Yeah.
We might see after this donation, because this donation here is $1 from Crunchy Brown himself. Apparently games that end with the letter X are cursed. Gex? F0X? Coincidence? I think not. Shout out to Dayman for coming in clutch on such short notice.
Any time. I love running this game. Real pleasure. Okay, Battle of Hoth. This is a really interesting level in that it kind of encompasses all three types of play you really have in this game. Shooting stuff on the ground, shooting stuff in the air, and then some sort of unique mission mechanic thing you have to deal with. So, the unique thing here is tripping the walkers, but the first thing we do, shoot stuff on the ground. Oh, please. See, another fun with auto-aim. And yes, I am mashing to shoot faster. Please. Bro.
While you're zooming around on Hoth, we have $15 from Daft7, who says, shoutouts to Aylis, who is the next runner coming up. That puts Korn in the lead for choose a character for the final boss fight in Jet Set Radio Future.
I chickened out of a death warp because I already died once, and if I die 3 times, then I have to redo the level, and I really don't want to do that. Yeah, there's a death warp that saves 1 second, which is not a lot, but it's completely free. Like, it takes no effort whatsoever. You just crash, and it puts you, if you crash on the correct AT-AT, it moves your respawn trigger far enough ahead that you gain a little bit of ground, but what really matters is every time you respawn, you get another boost. So the A-Wing and the Speeder both have a boost gauge in the bottom right, and when that fills up, you can activate that and go faster, and it always starts full anytime you start with a new life. So that's a really nice bonus if you ever have a death warp in either of those two vehicles. Where's my last walker? I'm actually grabbing specific legs to determine my respawn point, so I spawn closer to the next walker. And there's a couple different patterns that you can use. The one I used right there is one of the best ones to do if you start from the one on the left. However, if you ever do grab the wrong leg, which can happen sometimes because it's kind of hard to aim, it's easy enough to get to the same pattern all again. All right. Now, switch to an X-Wing and kill some bombers, and we'll be off to the races.
Awaiting your orders.
I have some beautiful words for you, Dayman. We have $50 from CJ It's All Good, who says, thank you, Dayman, for coming in clutch at the last minute. Thank you to everyone for understanding. That brings us up to $4,670.75. We are $30 away from making Dayman do all of the bonus levels.
Hey.
And Crunchy keeps his job.
And
Speaking of which, just give us a heads up when you're halfway done.
Okay, sounds good. You'll know when I'm halfway done, because it'll be during a level that I'm complaining a lot. Alright, so the best to get these before they round the corner. You should be able to make it. Oh, please. Okay, as they're rounding the corner, that's close enough, right? Alright, so the next thing we have is the closest thing we have to an auto-scroller. And we can make that a bit more interesting by involving some really precise death warps. So let's do that. The cool thing is, it's a space level. And with it being a space level, that gives us a little grid on our radar, if you look in the top right. So, if I move 32 units forward on that radar, because I've counted, that puts me just forward enough in the map to trigger the next spawning location, which is sufficiently ahead of where I'll be at that time, at which point I'll want to crash into a nice rock, and I'll respawn there and save quite a bit of time. However, this is a marathon, and I really don't want to miss it, so there's also an audio cue. You'll notice I use a lot of audio cues, and that's because they make this game way easier. Really don't want to die before there, because I have another audio cue later. This rock looks nice. Oh, it's not spinning towards me as fast as I wanted, but that's okay. We'll still get a nice little death warp. Yeah, so the spawning location and direction and speed of the rocks is all random, and it's really one of the only pieces of randomness in the entire game. And so, you know, you gotta make deal with it. You get good at spotting a nice rock when you start out. It's like, you know, I think that one's gonna be... Oh, please. No. Go away. If I die here, it's not good. And I'll explain why once we get down into the planet. Why do I hate the new Rogue Leader? Well, the new Squadrons game is basically like a flight sim that they let you shoot stuff in. It's not actually about flying around and shooting. I wish it were. I mean, it's fine. It's not a bad game. But it's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for more Rogue Squadron. You can play it in VR? Yeah, but you can't shoot stuff, really. I mean, you can, but it's not really the point of the game. I'm looking at my map, by the way, to see when I'm going to be in range to shoot this thing. It's 7 units past that red dot. Okay, that's good.
2 more to go. 1 more to go.
2, 3. Alright, that should be good. Please. Alright, we're good.
Rogue Leader here.
Did you manage to get through?
Yes, sir. We're on our way to the facility.
Right. So,
Getting a transmission from the server.
bombing section.
Destroy the guns guarding the prison building. If you take out those guard towers, we
We've
can
got
help you.
a nice little targeting computer that really helps us out, but it really helps us out with the bombing missions because when you activate it, it stays up and you kind of just highlight the thing you want to blow up and then press the B button and it goes away. It automatically calculates the trajectory of the bombs, which is an absolute delight.
2 more to go. 1 more to
We
go.
just send it on our way. We verify by looking at the little radar. If the red blip goes away, then you did a good job.
We need access to
You can
weapons.
increase your altitude a little bit to try to
Destroy the guard towers around the weapons storage
make the
building.
targets closer together, but because my next death is intentional and it's on the ground, if I am too high up in the air, I'm not really going to save any time anymore.
Armed and ready to go. Try to take out the communication relays.
So now we're going to crash, and that does 2 things for us. One, it's going to spawn us towards the thing we have to get to next, which is right here, and it refills our bombs. Bombs are the only secondary weapon that automatically regenerate, but waiting for them to regenerate takes a lot of time, and we can just have them all now.
1 more to go.
One last section I want to get to. This is actually the only spot in the run I'm going to intentionally shoot a leader. That's just going to make those ties scramble.
Destroy the Imperial
The Y-Wing has really good defense, but you don't really want to take any unnecessary risks with getting hounded by TIE interceptors, which can just randomly sideswipe you. This whole level is just, don't let something horrible happen to you. The actual gameplay is not particularly challenging, but this is a huge obstacle for a lot of casual players because they don't understand what to blow up, even though you can just put on your targeting computer and just hit the yellow stuff. But they don't think to do that, I guess. I don't know. Play the tutorial level. This game is a tutorial level. It's very fun, and it tells you everything you need to know for the rest of the game.
I'm starting to see a bit of a trend here with death warping. How often do you do this in this run?
At all?
One more to go.
One in there's the first one in Death Star is a despawn, which we do. There's one death warp in Hoth, 2 in Maw. That's it. There are a couple of other cool little setups that we do that don't involve dying, which hopefully will go well. But the only death warps that you need to do are the ones in this level, because they save massive amounts of time. They're 10 seconds each on an auto scroller. So if you don't use those, you're losing very, very large amounts of time. Oh, by the way, they're gonna say, oh, you have to go protect the shuttle. You don't. There's not even a cutscene for it getting blown up. If you turn on ace mode and the AI gets really strong, nothing happens. You can't lose the level at this point unless you lose all your lives. They actually just assumed you would help them and then made that a mission requirement. All the other escort stuff, like in Hoth, you have to protect the transports as they leave. If you don't, then the cutscene plays and you lose, and that's half of the levels. But for whatever reason, they just no, you don't actually have to do that one. Next level is Blink and You Miss It. So I'll just kind of give a little bit of introduction now. Normally you have to fly and alternate between the Death Star and protecting the frigate, but you don't. You can, if you're fast, you can just blow up the Star Destroyer. Death Star, I think I said. Star Destroyer and frigate. Yeah, just blow up the Star Destroyer, you're good to go. I'm guessing probably about 36 seconds it'll take. So we'll see if I'm right. Aiming at the right spot so I can avoid crashing into these ties that are about to fly overhead. Another audio cue, who'd have thought?
Awaiting your orders, Wedge.
And one more audio.
Rogue leader, this is the frigate. We're under attack.
They're going after the frigate.
Oh, please.
Gotta protect the frigate at all costs.
I must have missed. Oh, that's not... okay, so 36 seconds not happening, but that's okay. We got some backups. Should be good.
Good job.
Yeah.
Now let's take out the last one underneath. That's not for the shield generators. Now let's
Is this
get that
style?
coming back.
Style?
Awaiting your
Yeah,
orders.
style.
Captain.
I've already messed up doing it fast, might as well do it cool. So, 47. Yeah, so normally, I had a little bit of, when there's a bunch of stuff on screen, every now and again, you'll get, some of your mashing inputs eaten, because there's a bunch of lasers flying around, a bunch of stuff flying around, and, sometimes you don't get quite what you're expecting in terms of firing all those torpedoes and lasers. I should probably also clean this controller.
Awaiting orders.
Let's see. So do linked lasers by tapping actually do more damage than holding? Yeah, by a lot. By a lot. So the game tells you that when your lasers are fully charged, that it does the most damage, and that's completely true. However, the amount of damage increase you get by mashing instead of just holding the button down is extremely significant. Like, you don't have to mash very fast before you surpass the amount of mashing you need for it to be beneficial. Like, I don't actually hold down the fire button except for in one spot in the entire game because I just need coverage. Like, I'm always tapping when I'm shooting at ties. It makes it so that they die in 1 or 2 hits depending on where I hit them. Even though I'm Oh, I should probably mention, I'm playing this game without upgrades. So the standard speed run we do is any percent with standard ships and no upgrades in the ship whatsoever. So that's basically if you were to just pick up the game and play for the first time, except we play from a completed file, so we skip skippable cutscenes, because it doesn't change any of the gameplay at all. It just makes the game less annoying to play, and so that's always fun, right? We like that.
So it's just a completed file, just with no upgrades at all whatsoever.
That's right. And then just purely for swag reasons, you'll notice that I have a gold medal on every single level, because I decided that a couple years ago I was going to go through and get gold medals with standard ship and no upgrades on every single stage that it was possible. And it is possible on all levels except one. You can't do it on Triumph of the Empire because they expect you to have the Seeker Cluster missiles, and without that it's not possible to hit the gold medal requirements for a combination of accuracy and time, because the enemies fly out of bounds where the only place you can hit them is with Seeker missiles. And with the missiles, it's a completely trivial gold medal, but without them, it's actually impossible. So 14 out of 15, I guess 13 levels, because you need 2 gold in order to unlock endurance. But yeah, but all the story levels, and then 3 of the bonus levels. I have standard ship, no upgrade golds in, which is actually, some of them are kind of hard. Endor's ridiculously hard. I'm gonna kill a couple of these cannons. Oh, by the way, this level sucks. This level is the reason why the speedrun can be agonizing sometime. So you've got this section that we're about to encounter here, where we trip some walkers. That's fine. After that, these ground troops are going to come out of the ship, and we have to protect them on their way to get the plans for the second Death Star out of the Star Destroyer there. And for some reason, they just take longer sometimes. And we have a list of things, but we don't think it's true RNG, because we can make it worse. Like, there are a lot of things we can do that slow them down, but we don't have a comprehensive list of things that actually make it better. All we know is things to avoid, and consequently, you can lose 40 seconds on this level easy. Just 40 seconds just evaporates into thin air, and not because you did anything wrong, and we don't know why.
That's rough.
Yeah, and the thing is though, like, we know it's not pure RNG. It's so stupid. There's a bounty out for it, but that'll... Oh, I screwed that up. Oh, okay, well this is gonna be fun. Hope I don't crash.
I'm guessing this is the super complainy level?
Oh yeah, this is the one. So this level is about 8 minutes long, and then after that, it's kind of all home free. Because this is the 6th level of 10, but the remaining 4 are substantially straightforward by comparison. I don't know what our time is, but just expect this run to take, at this pace, probably about 43 minutes, I guess.
I've also got another donation from the one and only Crunchy Brown.
Very nice.
He's trying to save his own job here. He's donated $1.25. It wouldn't be SDAT if everything went according to plan.
You're telling me he's trying to save his own job and dropping $1.25? He's not trying to save his job very well.
What really makes this event shine are the people who work together to crush the inconveniences, the Bear Grylls of speedrunning marathons. Improvise, adapt, overcome. By the way, the Sonic 3 and Knuckles upgrade to all Emeralds glitchless run is at $170 out of $295. Looks like we need another 120. We've still got another one after this. It looks like CJ's Monster 50 went towards Save the Animals. So if you want to kill the animals, you've got about $46 to be able to do that.
So now I'm babysitting these troops, because we found out that if you keep them on camera and stay near them, they don't slow down as much. Isn't that fun? Also, my favorite part is, so I've got all these ATPTs in the water. If I kill them all too fast, I lose time. And we don't know why.
Why do you lose time?
We don't know. Because they slow down. So we don't. So for whatever reason, if you kill everything in this map too fast, all these troops will slow down and stop, and take more time to get to the end of the thing. We have no idea why. It's just a thing that happens.
Maybe it's like when you're trying to walk into a bathroom as a kid with a motion sensor and you're trying to not trigger it. Maybe they think if they go slow enough, you won't see them.
So it's like a Jurassic Park situation.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Except instead of dinosaurs, it's Y-Wings.
Those are my friends, though. So those are the troops that I'm escorting. I wish I could just blow them up. That'd be great. It's actually going pretty well, if I'm being honest. As far as like terrible Cothless levels, this is Vengeance on Cothless, the most infamous level, and as far as terrible Cothlesses go, this one's actually not too bad. We're doing all right. The ties can also scare them away. Hear them screaming? Good. Alright, that's fine.
That's the last of them, rogues.
I'm gonna send my wingmen after these ties.
I'm on it, rogue leader.
I mean, I screwed up 2 levels so far, and I'm about to get a Cothless better than I have in my PB, so I'm kind of upset.
The reactor's getting more unstable. We've got to hurry.
For a while, my PB was the most cursed PB. It was technically a world record. Most cursed world record / PB of all time, because I had nearly flawless 8 out of the 10 levels, lost 35 seconds randomly in this one, and then made one mistake in another level for about 8 seconds, and otherwise it was like completely flawless. And it was a PB over my old one, which had like a distribution of errors by like a second. It was the most horribly cursed. Okay, so this level actually has 2 versions. There's the daytime and a nighttime version. Nighttime is 12 seconds faster, so I set my GameCube clock to nighttime before I start my run, and we get to use the snowspeeder. This has a sequence break, which is pretty fun, so I'm going to do my best to not screw that up. This is the stealth mission. Be sneaky. You go too high or too close to the sensors, you fail. And then, I'll explain what I'm doing here in a second. Okay, we're good.
We gotta keep low.
So, the idea is,
Pick us up. Get
they
down.
say, Wedge, you gotta keep low, they're gonna pick us up, get down, and then the Empire knows we're here, and then you fail the mission, you have to redo the whole thing. But, the whole idea is that you get 2 warnings before they kick you out of the level, which you can use as a damage boost. So as long as you clip over, or as you cross over that mountain in the right spot, you're good enough to get out of their range before they would catch you the 3rd time. So now we're just cruising. We're gonna steal a shuttle. I'm gonna take this a little bit safe, because every now and again you can get shot down here. Maybe once out of every like 20 or 30 runs, I just randomly get screwed. I'd like that to not be the case today. So we're gonna kill 2 of these towers. You only need to kill 1. We're gonna kill 3. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of a conservative flight path with the shuttle as I bail out of here. The byproduct of that sequence break is that it kind of breaks the level. You'll notice that my radar is pure static, and if I were to pause, it would list the mission requirements for the daytime version of the level instead of the nighttime version of the level. It really doesn't like the fact that I cut that corner, because it skips a couple of voice lines about halfway through where it talks about some other stuff, but it doesn't matter. It saves 10 seconds if we're playing the level just fast and well. 12 seconds. Pretty good. Alright. Oh, 3, that's fine. What the hell level's next? Oh, Bestman. This one has a cool little manipulation and sequence break that I kind of... So it was known that you don't have to do all of this first section of this level. There's 3 sections of platforms, and they were able to get some good general patterns of like, oh, if you kill this one and this one and this one, then you can go to the final end. But if you fly straight to the last one and kill enough ties, it's enough to complete this phase and move on to the second half of the level. But there's a setup to make the TIEs kill themselves, so that's what I'm trying to do. It's a kind of a precise manipulation. You have to keep your movement really good, and they follow you and crash into the gas canisters. And you'll be able to hear it if it happens. So speed up now. Make a hard left through here.
Get these Imperials off my back.
I hear.
That sounds pretty
Oh,
good.
there's the train whistle.
Train whistle.
We need more support from fight.
That
Okay.
is all.
Excellent.
I mean, that was, train whistle was good luck, because that was a picture-perfect manipulation on those ties. Alright, now we have to kill 3 of these generators and go blow up the bombers. I'm gonna complain a little bit here, too. Not about the generators. Generators are fine. But, so, A-Wing, we love it. It's great. It's super fun to fly. But the lasers on it are absolute hot garbage. They're weak and inaccurate, which is a very bad combination. So, it takes a lot of effort to actually get them to shoot what you want to shoot.
The Imperials are firing on the gas containers.
Which hopefully you won't notice. If I do my job properly, then it will look like everything's just fine.
The last generator is history. Now save the gas
Didn't
platform.
crash, that's always nice.
Row group, let's form up. Copy that. Forming on
And you'll
your
shoot
way.
these in a specific order because, again, formations have leaders. And, no! Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so, I think you noticed. Trying to make you not notice?
Awaiting your
You've
orders,
noticed.
Wedge.
The auto aim?
Notice what?
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
So-
what? Notice what? I
Yeah.
don't know what
So
you're
the
on about.
lasers are the auto aim is worse than it is in the snowspeeder. I've lost many runs to this segment. Also, there's some issues with like the auto roll that they set up for the camera. I know there's one more. There it is. Oh, I almost died. That would have been great.
Awaiting your orders, Wedge.
So it's all 5, right? Be all 5.
The Tabata gas
Oh,
is
that was
ours.
stupid.
Great job.
Sometimes that just happens. Like I said, I've lost many a run to the last 10 seconds of that level. 47. Jesus Christ. Okay. It's fine. Don't worry. 47's great. Alright.
Yeah, the end of that level looks rough.
The thing is, when it goes well, it's gorgeous. When it goes well.
Admiral, we're in position.
Alright.
All squadrons,
Closing
follow
things
lead.
down here. This level is
Watch out.
the bane of people's existence casually. Because there's like everywhere I go, ties just crash into me. How to avoid them? Well, this is how you avoid them. You make all the ties crash themselves. So I'm going to fly around these giant ships, watch the radar, and have a little bit of a listen.
Pull up. All crap, pull up. On those
While you're doing that, we have a final offer to get you to do the bonus levels. $46.75, which is $3 away to get those bonus levels in. All we need. We'll see Dayman for a little bit longer.
They're heading for the
Ah.
frigate.
Red leader,
So,
we're under
half the ties in this level are on rails, maybe a little less than half, but a bunch of the other ones are programmed to follow you everywhere you go to always make it feel like you're in the action. And they are programmed to follow you no matter what. So if you lead them around an obstacle that will kill them, they do not care. They will crash into it and die. So we take advantage of that to clear out as many of them as we possibly can without putting ourselves in danger, so that we can use both of our lives for, I guess, not a death warp, but a quick kill on the Star Destroyers, which saves a little bit of time and makes it substantially easier, which would be just fine. I'm just gonna nice and safe. Die. Keep an eye on the radar. Keep an eye on everything in front of me. One more pass. Also, surprise, surprise, another audio cue that I'm going to use to make sure that I can get set up for the bomber kills at exactly the right time. If it works, it looks sick. So, I haven't done it in a while. So I haven't run this game in a while. We're going to try our best. There's a few ties that are still left. Chance of bad things happening, but reasonably low chance.
I have a quick little announcement here. We have $3 from Silent Hero, who says, I like turtles. So it looks like you're doing the bonus levels.
Very nice. And this should spawn me right behind the bombers. Perfect. Ah! I almost died.
Sounds like we might also get something else for the $3.
Jeez. Ah! Almost a one cycle. If you do that perfectly, you can get all of those bombers in one pass, and you don't have to loop back around for any of them. That did not happen, but it was pretty close. I think I have 2 left. Hey, it's 3 left? Oh, gross. Okay. Where is he? Oh my god, that was really bad. Well, I did almost die, so I think the time save of compared to death is halfway decent. Oh, that was... He crashed. I didn't even shoot him. Did you see that? He just crashed into the ship. Alright. So, this part's cool.
I think he was trying to do a death warp as well.
I guess so. I mean, it worked. It did save time, which is what we're looking for. Okay, so normally you have to shoot the generators in the top and bottom, and then the same thing we did on Razor Rendezvous, and shoot the bridge. However, because these guys are moving forward, the shield that protects their bridge from being hit is up. But if we crash, our explosion has a lingering hitbox, which they will move into. So as long as you hit, it's fairly precise, but as long as you do it right, the explosion stays in place, they move into the explosion, which bypasses the shield, and you instantly kill them. Can't really ask for it any better than that. Alright, we're good. So now I just have to not die. Fortunately, this map is humongous, so the amount of space you have to fly around and not die is pretty substantial. Alright, we have about 30 seconds before this level ends if you have any other announcements or things you want to talk about.
Cool stuff. I'm going to use that 30 seconds to just remind you guys there is a incentive coming up. Not for the next run, but for the run after, for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, upgrade to All Emeralds glitchless run. Looks like we're about 100 and mental math $17 away from that, I think. If I can count correctly, if not, correct me in chat. But we're 173 out of $295. Exclamation mark donate if you want to get in.
By the way, as a kid, you may have had a hard time finding the secret cluster missiles, but that's where they are, right there, that little blip. Just look for the first Star Destroyer dips as it starts to die. You find it every time.
We're on our way. Regroup.
Alright, 1 level left. This is Strike at the Core. Now, if as a kid you didn't give up at Battle of Endor, you very well may have given up on this level, at least without like an infinite lives code. But we're gonna cheese the snot out of this level, and it's gonna become quite trivial. So normally, you follow the Millennium Falcon, you have to keep it safe from TIE fighters, and it's just constant. You're always getting shot, it's always getting shot. If you get too far away, you lose the level. If it gets shot too much, you lose the level. It's incessant. We don't have to do any of that, actually, because all the game really does is checks to make sure the Millennium Falcon's on the radar. So I'm just going to fly up ahead of it and then be at a static speed, and you'll see that little green blip at the bottom of the radar. That's Millennium Falcon. As long as that stays there, we're going to be through the first half of the level. Probably the hardest level casually, and I would say one of the 3 easiest in the speedrun.
If you told me as a kid that this level was this easy, you would have saved me so much rage.
That's what everybody says. Everyone's like, "Oh man, this level's gonna be hard." I'm like, "Oh, buddy, just wait." It is comically simple for the first third of the level, The interior stuff's still reasonably challenging. But getting there with 3 full lives, good. Alright. Do a little bit of manipulation here to make sure that I'm going to be shooting all of the things, the ties, as soon as I possibly can, because they don't spawn a new wave in until the wave before them dies. And so I want to both move fast enough that I'm not, lagging behind everything, but slow enough that I can shoot them quickly. So it's a little bit of a dance, and knowing exactly when to open my wings makes that pretty easy. They also can crash into you and then you just die. So that's a thing. So I'm also trying to fly in a manner that is going to make me avoid their flight paths. Because if they won't kill you directly, but they will knock you into the wall, which will kill you. So, all that fun stuff. And then, as we approach the last segment, you'll never guess there's going to be another audio cue. And that's how I'll know when I can shoot the core. So, if you do skip any of these, you fail the level. Yeah, I was a little bit late on that one. That's okay. And then, bro, really? Now we can just pass them up. Now, normally, you wouldn't be able to use any sort of an audio cue in the middle of a level like this, but the fact that the music changes as soon as you pass into the core room means it works every time.
Wedge, go for the power regulator on the north tower.
What you have to do is keep your speed the same. And you probably shot torpedoes at this as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fun fact, they don't reach. This is actually farther away than it looks, because this room's actually gigantic. If you shoot from really close up, it'll make a difference, but lasers are way faster. Because you only need to hit it with one laser.
Yeah, when I shot the torpedoes as a kid, I was very confused as to why it wasn't.
because it's too far. They're too far away, yeah. Now, if you have advanced torpedoes, I think that's technically faster than lasers because they travel faster, and therefore they don't despawn in time, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do quick turns all the way out of here. I'm going to open my wings just long enough to start a turn and then immediately close them, which preserves my speed but gives me enough of a handling increase to make it around the corners without having to hit the brakes. It's the fastest way of navigating these tight spaces. You'll hear my wings only once if I do it right, because it's not actually letting the animation finish for opening all the way before it starts closing all the way. It's very, very fast, very maneuverable. Right,
so what you're saying is you're space drifting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Time will be in a couple seconds as soon as I exit this thing. And time.
And it's a new world record of 0 minutes, 0 seconds.
There's another world record. I guarantee that. I got lost in 3 levels.
Wait, the time has just started.
Beautiful. Probably mid 42. I'd be probably 42-ish.
I don't know. This time is saying 9 seconds on my screen.
All right. Well, you know what?
I believe it.
You know, it might be hard to get that verified, but I'll do my best. Anyway, we got bonus levels. For bonus levels, I am going to use upgrades because they're awful without them. So let's see. What's a good order? Let's do them chronologically. So first one we're going to do is Death Star escape. So you're escaping the Death Star. Millennium Falcon is being chased by the TIE fighters, and this one actually has a completely unique weapon system and control scheme. It's just like a turret shooter thing. So I'm gonna do my best. The pattern is completely fixed, so I'm going to be shooting where I know they're going to be. Done properly, that's like a 38-second level. I'm definitely going to screw it up because it takes a fair bit of warning up, but we're going to do our best. Maybe I'll do it twice. It takes less than a minute.
Here they come. Got it. I got it.
Green kid, don't get cocky.
I got one. Bullseye.
You also have to mash R in order to shoot, so that's a little bit awkward. The GameCube controller.
Just a few more left. There's still 2 more.
Speaking of GameCube, by the way, are you playing this on hardware or emulator?
Always hardware. This game emulates like absolute garbage, which is actually a problem because we'd love to TAS it, but we can't.
Oh, really? What sort of problems do you have with emulators?
So for whatever reason, when Factor 5 made this game, they had some pretty like early dev tools because this was a launch title for the GameCube in North America, and they actually used this as like a tech demo early on when they were making GameCube stuff and doing like promotional things. And apparently their whole thing is Factor 5 was remarkably good at squeezing as much power and compression out of things as they possibly could, and so they used parts of like GameCube hardware to make this game look and play well that no one else ever really used, and so in making Dolphin, a lot of that stuff isn't super accounted for. And it's a whole thing. Well, I know we talked about death warps. This level does have death warps, but they're like IL death warps. They're legit super precise and super annoying, so we're not gonna do those. There is a extremely high likelihood that I would mess them up, so we're just gonna cruise. Consequently, this is a bonus level that costs a lot of points to unlock, and of course costs a lot of money to unlock. And
I thought you were gonna say, "Screw it, we're just gonna go for it." And see
oh
what happens.
no, not at all. Instead, we're just gonna talk about the game because this is actually the worst level in the entire game. You fly in a straight line, and are chased. And that's it. So, the rest of the levels are pretty good, but this is not good. And yeah, Crunchy, you're 100% right. This game, I mean, it's unfortunate. It looks better for me because I'm looking at it on a CRT. I mean, it runs remarkably well. It controls well. It's gorgeous. It's a really impressive game. It was a launch title. There are very few GameCube games that actually look better than this. But I know there are a few other issues with, like, in terms of the emulation, with the amount of objects they have on screen and some things that cause like weird rendering lag. I imagine if you had like a super beastly PC, you could make it work. I don't. Okay, we have cutscene, which I'm gonna skip. So it's you fly into the thing and then the worm eats you and spits you out, yada yada yada. We've seen the movie. Okay, back to the level. It actually spawns you back at the exact same spot that you were in before that happens. It's just a cutscene trigger. So if there was a rock right before you when you got into the area, or if you were off on a weird angle, you're still going to be off on that weird angle and in front of the rock. And I've just got the throttle buried, and I'm going to keep on cruising. And eventually we're going to see the Star Destroyer at the end, and oh, I'm going to die. But that's okay. We have 3 lives. I'm absolutely gonna die. I don't really know where all the respawn points are, but I imagine there's one fairly close to me. Oh wait, there's a strat for this. Probably have been doing the speed strat, huh? So, let me see if I can demonstrate it before we run out of time. The ties follow you, and they get behind you. Is this a friendly? He is a friendly. Some of them are friendly, and if you don't shoot them, then one that's hostile will never get behind you and start shooting you, and so that you can just use him as like a meat shield. Great. So now I don't have to worry about getting shot. You just use your missiles to shoot rocks if there's any rocks in front of you, because if you press the A button, you shoot in front of you and behind you, and he'll die. So it's slightly more efficient than just mashing laser. The Star Destroyer should be coming up pretty soon. Altitude looks wrong, though. Oh, I guess the music's gonna be off because I died. That's true.
Hold up, did you just say the music's off because you died?
Well, if I'm thinking about where the music's gonna be by the end of the level...
Oh, yes, sorry.
I'm thinking...
I have the stream muted.
Yeah, so if I'm thinking like...
the music was literally off.
Oh no, that'd be awesome. No, if I know exactly, if I'm like, by this part of the song I should be able to see the thing, But, of course, I died, and so add, 12 seconds or however much time I lost based on the location I died. Fun fact, you can end this level while still in the reeling animation from dying, and it counts. Which might happen just because. Okay, yeah, but if you die and you're in the reeling animation for that, as you enter, like, the approximate zone in the back of the ship, it just lets you win anyway. It just skips to the part of the cutscene where you're stuck to the back of the ship and. All right. Next, so I had mentioned before that this level you can't get a gold without the upgrades. You're probably not even supposed to be able to get a silver without the upgrades, but if you spend way too much time playing it, then you definitely can. And the general idea is that you have the most broken secondary weapon in the entire game, made broken just for the sake of being broken, the homing cluster missiles. You fire one rocket and it turns into, 6? And they each seek out independent targets and kill them all in one hit. So, we're going to use that. And, I accidentally, so normally I do hangar cutscene skips. But, let's take a look around. Beautiful. This actually changes the hangar to the Death Star hangar. Cool. Anyway, hangar cutscene skips, you just hold LNR and press A and it just picks your standard ship and off to the races. But, alright, this is going to be a little bit less of an optimal trip through the first phase and more of a weapons demo. So, watch this. And they're all dead. Love it. Love to see it. So normally, the way this looks optimally is you kind of just spin around in a circle and you know the spots that you have to stop spinning and shoot. It's not a great looking IL, but it is really pretty to just find the things and then watch them explode. Especially if you're using the advanced missiles, which of course are going to carry a little bit extra power. Again, not really a thing that we encounter in the story for a couple reasons. One, none of the standard ships in the standard ship no upgrade level carry cluster missiles, and standard cluster missiles are also completely pointless. They're tremendously weak. Alright, crash here, reload. This part I'm going to do optimally because it's cool. Heart break, missiles, break missiles, levels over.
Rebel fighters heading down the trench, sir. Rebel fighters heading down the trench, sir.
I was trying to count how many of the missiles were popping out. There's just too many, and there's just too much movement. I can't count them all.
I believe it's 6.
6 sounds about right.
I think it's 6. That level done perfectly is like 39 seconds or something stupid. Anyway. And then the last one we're going to do for the bonus missions, we're not doing endurance. We're going to do Revenge on Yavin. This is my favorite of the bonus missions. It is actually incredibly interesting IL, both with and without upgrades. We're going to be Invader's Tie, which is woefully slow, but again, we got our missiles. So,
also, just a quick little shout out to Blue Barrel and Synth Iris for the raids. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
In position, awaiting orders.
You have to kill all but 2 transports. And there are 2 that fly overhead as soon as you get in, so there's really no point in going after any of the other ones. We're going to use some, again, death warping, but also primarily because dying refills our missiles, and the missiles are a very hot commodity. Please die, thank you. Crash here. This gets us about halfway towards where we need to go next, but the most important thing... Actually, it's not even that. It moves us over, 50 meters. But the point is, we get a fresh stack of 20 cluster missiles. 1, 2, 3, 6. So... and then we're closing up this last group. Fun fact, the last transport, whatever that one is, you have to kill with a laser. Don't know why. Just how they programmed it.
Ready to engage.
Another audio cue. Get a fresh stack of missiles. We're gonna fly into that hangar and mash our Weapons out. Staying alive.
In
Staying
position,
alive.
awaiting orders.
Alright.
Form
Here
on
we go.
my wing.
Forming on your wing, my lord.
Probably could save one more missile, but so. Alright. So, thank you all. That concludes the bonus missions. 155 is actually not a half bad time on that level. That concludes all of the bonus missions and our regular old story from right here in Rogue Squadron 2.
Fly over Tatooine.
If we are all good with this one, then that is my time here. Thank you very much for having me back.
Destroy the large deflection
Always a pleasure to
towers
show
on the
off this
surface, and the TIE fighters
favorite
defending
speed
the
run
approach
to
the
take
trench.
part in.
Fly down the trench
If you're
and
ever
fire
interested
your
in running
proton
this game
torpedoes
yourself,
when
I
you're
wrote a
within
guide
range
for
of
it.
the exhaust
Got
port.
clips of everything and written descriptions of all that. We have a Discord. If you want to find the link, speedrun.com/rogue2. I'll give you everything you need to do. Feel free to message me in Discord or anywhere else, and I'd be glad to help you out. Even if you're only interested in ILs, we have more people running ILs in all three of the Rogue Squadron games, actually, than do full runs. Because some people are just like, you know what? I have a few levels that I really like, and that's what I want to play, and there's nothing wrong with deciding you want to optimize just a few cool levels. So,
Destroy the large deflection towers
anyway,
on the surface, and the
that's
TIE
my time
fighters
here.
defending the
Thank you
approach
all
to the
very
trench.
much, and I hope you
Fly down
enjoy
trench
the rest
and
of this
fire your proton
lovely, lovely
torpedoes when you're
marathon.
within range of the exhaust port.
Beautiful stuff there, Dayman. That was a great run. Awesome to watch. Great game as well. I definitely might have to pick that up. Stick around though, everyone. We're going to go to a quick intermission, and then we'll be right back with Jet Set Radio.